Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I'm streaming some 2D4X, which is a video game that I'm creating with Godot. It's a strategy game. Um, I'm just gonna jump into it. I'm not gonna. I have a whole thing that I go through. I say every time, and I hate saying it. I don't know why I hate saying it, but anyways, we're gonna jump right into it. Basically, what's going on is we're making this video game, and we get this bug. Let's run it. Whoops. Well, that will do one thing. That will cause one bug that we're ignoring. Um, I wonder if they're related. It's quite possible that they're related. Uh, that bug there. Um, but I was thinking this morning. So basically, what the issue is that what I was saying yesterday was that, uh, yeah, that's not going to work because we get this bug. I was saying yesterday that I was thinking that the problem is that this isn't duplicating, but it dawned on me if the duplication error that it usually gets is not this problem. What it normally does is it just doesn't make a copy of it. It just assigns the actual thing to it, and we don't want it to sign the actual thing. But we wouldn't get this error. It would still work if it wasn't duplicating it. So there's something else going on, and I don't know what it is. So we're gonna have to, and we can't really move forward until we fix this. One thing we could check, because I think we did this yesterday, but I can't remember what happened. What happens when we run this without duplicating it? There is a known bug, a known. I think they're just kind of saying like not that it's a feature, but yeah. So this works. We don't get any bugs besides this original five. Wait, five? I think it's supposed to be four. No, it's five. So this bug appeared yesterday. It seems to be that you build the project and you get this bug. But if you run it, you don't get the bug. So when you hit run, it builds the project first and then it runs it. So something's going on. It's actually like running this thing. It's running this before the engine really starts. This is part of the build process. This is what I figured out yesterday. So it builds this before the engine starts, because here's the engine start, and it throws a bug because the shit's not ready. The game's not things aren't. They go in an order up here, and that so it's like I don't know what this shit is, and nothing's working. But then when you hit run, it runs it in the correct order. So one way to fix that would be to build and run every time, which is a huge pain in my ass. I think this is a Godot issue. I wonder if I search for like this exact thing. Let's see if I can copy this and see if it comes up. Maybe someone else, because this all started because I have something early on. This is 9 months ago. And I just upgraded to 4.3. I wonder, I was on like the RCs of it though, RC3 or something, release candidate. It looks like this guy's got a similar issue, but the problem is that this bug that it's throwing, is a common object reference, not. So this is the thing: is I don't think this is a bug in I don't think it's my fault. I mean, it is my fault because I have shit happening right at the beginning, but I don't think that this is the cause of my other issues. Um, It's definitely this duplicate thing because we just ran it and we don't get any bugs when we duplicate it. Let's do this again just to make sure. They went through all this shit yesterday. We'll build it first. I just hit build and I guess it's done. We'll clear this shit out because I want to make sure that we're not seeing old bugs. Then we'll run it and we'll see what we get. We took duplicate out. Yeah, then we don't get any bugs at all. Then what happens is if we put duplicate in here and we go like this, it's supposed to duplicate this resource and I woke up. I usually wake up at 7 because that's the time I wake up for work, but I woke up at like 9:45 or something. Yeah. Oh wait, we didn't build it first though. Yeah, then we get these 4 bugs here, where it's like it doesn't know what this is anymore. Like this list doesn't exist. Something happens when it duplicates this. It just fucking shits itself, and that's not what it's supposed to do. We could try. Uh, we want a research item data. We'll say research item data copy is what we'll call it. And we'll equal. Maybe something else is going on with this, adding it this way, but I do that. I've done that in the past. Research item data copy. And then here, we're pulling from this faction. Hey, Bumblebite, how's it going? The dev, we're still on the same thing as yesterday. it's not I was thinking like maybe we can skip this and come back to it. And I was like, no, we cannot skip this. I'm gonna figure it out though. I have confidence, a little bit of confidence. I would really like this bug to go away, but I don't. I wonder if I should try running. Yeah, this thing happens with this. I wonder if I should try running this with on 4.2 and see if it happens. See if this is a 4.3 thing. Wind, how's it going? And the problem is that the issue it's throwing is so common. You know, the null reference exception, that happens all the time. So it's like when you Google that, it doesn't bring up any. Well, the other thing, actually, this is because of you, Wind. The other thing I was thinking about is maybe this is happening because I don't have a constructor in. I made it sound accusatory, Wind. It's a good thing. You mentioned a long time ago, like, oh, you can get this to work if you have a constructor in your resource, and I was like, well, I don't care. Maybe that's the issue, is I don't have a constructor in this resource. So I guess let's do this first. Let's make a constructor and see what happens. That shouldn't take that much time, right? So let's go to, I mean, even if it takes time, it's got to be tested. Research item data, but we got to click on that. Where to go there we go. Then if not, we'll make a new copy thing. But I'm wondering if maybe it's the constructor's issue. And then somebody in YouTube comments said, if you do this, and I did it like one other time, we can go like this and do like control period or something, and we can generate a constructor. And this is quite long. Let's make this so that we can, what are we at? 229? Is that what I normally do it at? I can't remember. Let's put this down here so we can see the whole thing. We have 2 amount of researches because one's a capital. It's a getter setter. So if that's the case, I don't think we want no, we want this one, but we want this to be a capital. And we want 200 items. Where do you see 200 items? Man, I need to get rid of some of these though. I try to keep it at 3 or 2 lines. Okay. So then this has got to go. This should be a capital. And this should be this. And then let's just look through and make sure that this is right. We got the faction data. We got the tier. We got the scale. I mean, I guess this all is going to be here. Research at start, research name, research description, research texture, amount of research done, cost of research, county improvement, researchers. And I don't think we're going to be using researchers. We did it a different way after all. All right, so we have a constructor in here. I still don't really understand constructors, but that's my problem that I will one day understand, I hope. Then let's run this thing again and see what happens. I don't feel like that. Oh, good. We got something exciting. Exciting and new. Um, oh. Because we have a constructor in there, we can't make it an empty thing. Um, an empty thing. Um, show potential fixes. Sure, I don't think you're going to help me. Generate the constructor, encapsulate it. Oh, what? No. No. I selected that one and the bug went away, but what did it do? What? Nothing changed. Um, what was I doing with this? Research item data. Where? I don't see it. I mean, maybe it's right in front of my face. Um, here, well, undo it. Maybe? Can I not undo that? I guess I can undo that. It should. Where am I even using this thing? Research item data. I gotta be assigning something to this. This is a research item button. So this is a button. It must get assigned to at some point. On button press. Research item equals. What the fuck is this? Okay, no, that's a different thing. Oh, you think it put a constructor inside the thing? Oh. Um, like inside the research item data. Oh, it did. Well, I don't know what the fuck that is. What? Okay. Let's go back to that bug. Come back, bug. Because I'm trying to be lazy and just click through. Um, so I see we're using it here, but where are we getting, like, where is this thing getting assigned? We must be, oh, it's public. We must be assigning this thing somewhere else, so we needed a new one. Um, where was this other one? Won't jump to it. Um, this is the same one. Um, so let's see here. I think that I can do this just. I'm trying to think. When I never do like I like the other public class that I have. I only have one constructor in my whole code, I think, and it's under county population. Is my only constructor, or at least what I understand as a constructor. It's this gigantic thing here. And every time I add something to it, I think I put things in here. You know, I fill in all of these different parts. Um, but there's probably a way to. All I need is an empty one because I'm probably assigning it to this. Maybe I don't need an empty one at all. Maybe that isn't it. What happens if I just do that? Let's see what happens. We'll build it first. You know, I don't think I got the 5 errors at the beginning anymore. Yeah, I should have gotten those 5 errors at the beginning right here. And now that's gone away. Which is weird too. Oh, sweet, I got 14 now. Um, cannot create script instance. Does not. This class does not define a parameterless constructor. Okay, so I need to put something in there. So maybe I'll just delete the constructor and we won't do that. Because I don't think I can just go like new whatever. You know, I can do a new, but then I need to put stuff into it. So if we delete the constructor, that wasn't that big of a deal. We'll put this back. We'll go back to the constructor, or to this resource. We'll delete this constructor. That wasn't a big deal. And I think the issue why it was suggested that I use a constructor was because I can't see certain stuff in the inspector. Like I can't click on these and look at them. They're just empty. So the other thing that I was thinking is we make a copy of this, and I don't want to call it new copy. For some reason, I didn't want to use, oh, but I can't do a new one of these. That's okay, though. I didn't want to use the word copy, but I can't remember why. Just on its own. There was a reason, like it was overwriting something that already existed. Let's do, I mean, I guess make new copy is fine. Who gives a shit, right? As long as it's consistent. So we need to return, though, a research item data. And so we're going to call this, we'll actually just do this, except we can't do the new thing. Well, we can now because I got rid of that constructor. So we'll do this. We're not going to for each, though. This was just needed. We're going to go like this. Well, that's not very useful. We're going to go new. And then we're going to go new research item data. We're going to have to pass in a research item data too. Data. And this is going to be like whatever the first thing is. There's kind of a lot of crap. I'm going to make a copy of this and put it on my other monitor so I can copy this stuff. I don't think we need research, but we'll see. This isn't really going to work how I want it to, but come on. I can do it. There we go. All right, so we need, so this part is going to kind of suck. Faction data equals. I wish there was a way I could test to make sure that this is the issue. I mean, we've done so many different tests, and it always croaks, and we know that when we take out that duplicate, it still has. But why would that? It's so strange, because it's not, the error isn't the normal duplication error that I get. It's a different one. It's like it's clearing out the thing. Normally when I get the duplication error, the problem is it doesn't make a copy of it. It just assigns the same one to it. So if you edit any of them, they all get edited. My little box over here is too small. Okay, so then we'll do new research. skill, and then we would do new research, and then we would do new research item, researched at start. And then I'm always surprised that the Visual Studio isn't smart enough to figure out what I'm doing here. Like it doesn't know at this point. Like it can give me partial, but it figured it would just automatically. I bet you if I had the Copilot thing turned on, it would figure it out. But that thing went to shit. Someone else was telling me, I don't remember if this was at work, because I have a coworker that's really into the Copilot stuff. Or if this was during at chat, but someone was telling me that it's back to being pretty good. I don't know, though. I'm kind of, the excitement of AI has kind of left me. We could half-ass this. Okay, so one of the problems we're going to run into is that when we equals this, I wonder if it's going to fire this thing. And this should be the capital A. It probably is going to fire this. We could just do, I think we could trick it by just assigning it to the lowercase one. Then this wouldn't happen. This wouldn't get fired. Because it's pulling, it's returning the lowercase one. Let's put it like this just to see what happens, but then go from there. Cost of research. Equals. And I think there's one. Yeah, we got two more things to do here. One of them. It does lie a lot. Maybe it was it. So the thing is, it never will admit that it's wrong, and I think that's very strange. So you can tell it, what's 2 plus 2, and it will come back and say 5, and you're like, no, that's not true. It'll be like, and it will say something like, oh, sorry, I misunderstood you, and it's like, no, you didn't misunderstand me. Just oh, sorry, I'm wrong would be, let me look again, because it's terrible at math. What is this? County improvement datas. I don't know why this one is not. Joker, how's it going? I mention this all the time because I feel like I have to, oh, this needs to be, oh, no. I was thinking that we need to make a new one of those, but I guess not. I wonder if it's something like that. Maybe that's what's crashing and burning here. Because there was that one thing in duplicate that when I said, put true in there to make it copy the things below. And this is the problem. It's not actually bringing over this information, this faction data that we assigned. And I bet you, okay, I just had a thought. I bet you this is the problem. When we duplicate that thing, it's not bringing over the faction data. The duplication process might be working. Who the fuck knows? But it's not copying over the faction data because the faction data is another resource. So that's why when it gets to that duplicate part, it just takes a shit because there's nothing there anymore because it can't copy. Duplicate just doesn't work for that. So we could have, remember, remember. So I was saying that maybe I should put like a faction ID instead of copying the actual faction data. If I bet you if I had used a faction ID, it would have worked. Because it's not it would copy over the faction ID, which would be an int, and it would have been fine. It would have worked until probably we got to this thing, the county improvement data's array. Then it would have shit itself. I mean, we would have just moved the problem down the road. Uh, we have another couple things here to do. What the fuck is this? This is a researchers. This thing I don't think we need. Oh, but what I was gonna say is that at my job we do have an AI thing that everyone loves, um, which surprises me. Um, is research done? All right, here we go. We have this thing called new, and then we're gonna return new research data. I tried to use it. Yeah, a sign and said, "What's that?" You know, I maybe they do like the thing that I read. You know, I'm not like sitting around reading my coworkers' emails, but sometimes I like looking into issues they have, and I've read some of the email replies to the AI. I don't think the humans know that they're talking to a robot. I always say robot. People are like, it's not a robot. We know. Come on. Anyways, they often are like, wow, you're the most helpful person I've ever met. Like, what is? I had to use a sign and said, what is a sign? Is that a thing? A sign basically adds all the elements from my existing array to a new one without them being linked as one. Like, um, so then how do you do that? Maybe that's what I need to be doing is a sign, uh, instead of me doing this, because this is becoming a regular issue. All right, so we have this thing. We're gonna save this. What do I have down here? We don't need this shit down here. This is just for to help my poor brain. Um, I wish they could have like inject you with like nanites like in the movies, and it would just repair my my damaged brain. So what do you want? Oh yeah, 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 perfect. Okay, so then we're gonna go back to wherever I was doing this, which was in county generation. Player UI canvas, we don't need that. Trivia, we don't know that. We don't need that. Oh yeah, I opened up a bunch of crap right before I don't. Well, I'm just gonna close stuff. We might need that. Um, it's new assign. Reverse it. You mean you had to like sort it? So you know when I was talking to Chat GPT about this, I couldn't find it yesterday. I was looking for it, but Chat GPT wasn't lying so much as it was just like, no, this is the way you do it. It works this way, and I was like, but I'm telling you, it's not working. They're like, but it was just like no, and I was like, God damn it. What are my other choices? And it would be like, this is your other choice, which would be the same thing. And I'm like, but there's nothing different here. And it'd be like, because that's the way you do it. Come on. Um, um, maybe I'll try that. Let me see if this works, because I don't really want to have to do this um, all the time. What the fuck am I looking for here? It wasn't in county generation. It was in faction generation because I moved it. We were able to get it out of county generation, right? That brain. Once again, faction generation. Did I close you? Faction data. Okay, and here's the duplicate. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna go like, stop it. We're gonna go, we don't need that, we'll just type this all in. Research, I guess it doesn't really matter. New, was this thing private or some shit? Well, we need to put in here research item data regardless. Yeah. It cannot be, what? What did you say to me? Cannot be accessed with the instance rate. Qualify it with a type name instead. Um, did I make that thing static? I don't. I guess I did. All right. I have a friend who has one of them has an LLM uh, instance at his house, uh, and he has like a there's like a free there's different tiers and like the free tier. I can't remember which version it is. He has it on probably like a laptop or something. He has like a fucking like 50 laptops. He's like a IT guy as well. I don't think he has any servers. I have an old server sitting in my living room that I don't know what to do with because um, you can't just like put it out for the trash. That's that's how old and good it is. I got it like 10 years ago, and it's been sitting there the whole time. Okay, so we get these same bugs. I think this is a different bug. I don't think we got that top bug either. Um, I'm now, huh? This thing we can close. Um, I don't think it. I think it was croaking down here. Yeah, well, I think it was croaking right here. Now it's croaking here. So that means that county improvement data is probably um, I'm just closing a bunch of crap here. So you were doing, Joker, you were doing an array, you were copying an array of them. I'm trying to just copy everything inside. How would that even work? I don't even know if a sign is a thing. Um, Let me put this in here and see something. I don't think I can do, whoops. Yeah, I don't think that's a C# thing though. Um, I don't even know if I was in the right spot. Yeah, I was thinking about that with just in general. Of someday this is supposed to be multiplayer. Um, yeah, this isn't a list though. It's just a resource with a bunch of shit in it. It's like, I mean, I guess we could do that to the list in here. Um, so basically, what happens? The breakdown of what happens is when it's in a different spot now with this new copy. But if we put it back on duplicate, let's go back to, I just moved everything around. We don't need this recruit hero thing open. We don't need this open. We don't need this open. We don't need the banker open. Research item button. hero data. We don't need interest data. We don't need perk data. We're gonna bring this down to just exactly what we need. Maybe. So if I put like this thing here, this is our research item data. If I put, um, whoops, we need a capital R there though. Item data, research item duplicate. And then if I have this equals like this, it throws a bug as if the faction data doesn't exist. It basically is saying that like, hey, this faction data, that's a different error. That's the build error thing. And they could be related. So it's saying that there's this list doesn't exist. Like this is but we know that it exists. And maybe maybe I've typoed something in here, but this is put in here to test this. But we know that it works up here, that the faction data exists up here, that we're assigning to here because we used it. And we're actually using, what we could do, I guess, to test this more is we could go, this is probably a better way to test this, research item data. Yeah, we should put this here to see if this is equaling this. So maybe this is part of the problem. Let's go back up. So maybe relooking at this, we'll go back up and see. So we're passing in this faction data. Maybe I've been doing something else wrong, and that's been the whole problem. So we go to this faction data, and then this faction data, it's pulling it from a Godot array. This is a Godot array. So this faction data, let's do this test up here, because maybe this has been wrong the whole time, is that this isn't really, I thought I tested it, but in reality, I was testing this one. So maybe this hasn't been getting assigned. And then we would go research item data, research name. All right, so this is going to test that this thing kind of exists and this thing. So then let's run this. And we'll get that. We didn't get the 5 errors. So that's weird. Where did it say this was? This is at 73. So it got past this. Was this rainbow? Rainbow faction name : not there. What is this color thing? This rainbow AI faction 1 basic production, and then it runs the completed thing, and then it croaks. So it goes. So we know that this works. This has been assigned over. The faction data has been assigned over. This thing does, when this hits though, I'm just double checking that I'm like checking the same research. I don't have like new research item data or some shit. This thing, when this is set, basically at the beginning of the game, when the game's loading, this is set now. It fires off this getter setter, which runs this complete thing, which is not here. It's over here. Let's put you next. Well, I guess you can't fit next to here. That's fine. Who cares? Oh, I guess you can't fit. So let's close one of these. These are all pinned. All right, we're not going to close it. So it runs this complete thing. And this is where it breaks. Is actually no longer where it breaks. So that part I fixed. And so we know that this faction data has at this point, because we're in that if statement still over here, because this happens inside there, and then when we get to duplicate, it fucking dies. And if we get rid of this duplicate, it runs fine. What if I duplicate it earlier, like in a different spot? See, then we don't get any bugs. The game runs fine. But my guess is that if we all of the factions will be getting the same research then, and we don't want that. And we don't want one person. So we need to duplicate it here. And so it's very strange to me. And I tried the true thing in here because it said in here sub-resources properties with the always do well, okay, what about always duplicate? Is that what that was? That what that was? Always, what is the flag here? Always duplicate, never duplicate. If subs resources is false, I put true in there. If sub resources is true, a deep copy is returned. Nested sub resources will be duplicated. And then at the very bottom, though, you see there's a note that says, for custom resources, this method will fail if Godot object has been defined with required parameters. I don't know what the fuck that means. I do know that it means it will fail. And I actually read in the Godot issues them arguing about this whole problem and them saying, at least put a fucking note in there. So I guess they did that, which is that note at the bottom. But will fail if Godot object has been defined with required resources. So what I was trying to do is make a new copy of this thing in a different way, but it looks like it fails differently. So let's put this back as duplicate. Let's see these errors. And I want to see if it's this. I think it's in a different spot. I actually want to copy this, put this here. I think I hit a weird order of hotkeys, so I'm doing it again. All right, so we have that thing. Let's go back to, I don't know what you guys can't hear my music, but whatever I'm listening to is bad. Oh, it's funny. That's actually a band. Mother Mother is this band that I've found on the internet and I like, but some of their songs are terrible. It's a bummer when that happens. Uh, what? Okay, so this is the test thing, is where it's failing, which is we're checking against this faction data. And I'm just double checking. I am adding this thing to the list, like, because maybe I was doing something wrong. What happens if we comment this out? It seems to think that there's something, it's doing the count greater than 0. Uh, and then we're checking this research item. Maybe I should just make this an int. Sound experience, what do you mean? Let's comment this out and see where it croaks for real, though, actually. I think that test is fine, right? It feels fine. Okay, it doesn't croak. No, it does. Yes, it does not croak. Oh, PA. When I was younger, I used to really. I guess that's not true. When I was really, really young, like 16, I was. My stepdad was really into music and stuff like that. So if I take this thing out, it seems to work, this test. We're not getting any more bugs. So how do we test this then? I think that was the whole idea, was we needed to make sure. What happens if we open up? Maybe I set myself up for failure here. This song sucks too. I know you guys can't hear it. Cave Town. Um, how about you? Are you guys into that? I've had friends in my life who are very, trying to think of the right word. Uh, I was actually just talking with a dude at the coffee shop about records and things. I used to have not a bunch, like 200 records this, and I gave them all away, except for like a small group, because I never listened to them. Okay, so what is wrong with my test? Um, what am I doing? This song sucks too. Um, yeah, I need to test this to make sure though, and I think that's what I was doing, but maybe my test is maybe there's no research item zero? That maybe no. I don't know. Uh, okay. This is that bug that I can never get rid of. Oh, this is this other bug that happens occasionally, that I don't know to get rid of. Resource not found. Number of things paused. This is where it breaks. 3. Yeah, we when I was talking about records with the guy at the coffee shop, he likes to collect records, but he doesn't listen to them. He listens to the digital version. And I think that's kind of the way it is. I don't know if that's true. The few records that I kept, I've listened like that, yeah, I just have sentimental value for them, and I've listened to them so much when I was younger that when I had a record player that they sound like shit now. Um, what is this goddamn thing? Let's build this and run this again. Oh, I listen to like a lot of punk music too, so it's not. Well, this one it seemed to have worked fine. So what was wrong with my? Maybe this whole problem is me. Research it. What is wrong with this? I don't think this is copying over. We could do, but it would know. So I think the issue is that this is null, right? So we could go if. Oh, didn't it work if I put like a question mark in there? I think it did. If faction data. Oh, I got a comma in there. Faction data is equal to null. We're gonna do a rainbow thing here. GD print rich rainbow. Um, faction data is null. Else faction data is not null. My parents are still kind of into it. I'm surprised because they're old. They don't really listen to music that much anymore. They used to be really into music. It's weird how that happens. Uh, I guess I'm gonna call him a friend. I have some coworkers that are old punk rockers like me, and they, Yeah, so see, it says the faction data is null. They said that they like listen to no music with lyrics anymore. They like listen to Italian folk music. It's it was weird. Um, okay, so this is null. This isn't copying over. So there's something in duplication. It's not copying over. Let's put this true in here. It's not copying. It's copying some of this shit. Something is copying. Some stuff isn't. And we got that fucking thing again. Um, it's still null. There's a point where I'm gonna have. Oh, look, it did it. It went through the thing a bunch of. It got. It did. Nothing broke, so it kept going. Um, motherfucker. But we know the faction data isn't full. Null full. We know the faction data isn't null because we have this. Well, let's look up a little higher. It should say. There should be a colon, and there it is. The shitbirds are researching basic research. So it's null until we make a copy of this. So it's this duplicate thing just doesn't fucking work with sub resources in true. And I wish I understood what if Godot object has been defined with required resources. Like, what does that mean? Um, what is the meaning of these words? If Godot object has been defined. Let's look at duplicate. Maybe duplicate has some notes in it now. Here's somebody probably complaining about the same shit. These guys have a different, this is a different thing. What it is, I've looked at, obviously I've looked at this before, but have you tried setting the local to scene setting on the resource to true? I don't know. Did I? That would be under. The problem is it's a sub resource. You know what I mean? Like so it's a faction data. So I wonder. Why don't we do this? If we can't copy, well, I wonder how many times this is gonna fuck me in the future, though. Makes me want to just use public classes. I'm like just sitting here staring at the code. It's gonna do something if I stare at it long enough, right? It's gonna write itself. I just have to make a decision. Is basically, um, I sometimes I used to all the time have to go to these work meetings, and it would blow my mind how there would be all this talk and then no decision would ever be made, and I'd just be sitting there like, make a fucking decision. I'm getting so mad. Just who cares? Everyone's put their input now to make a decision. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm in the not make a decision. So the one, so what I could do? I could just do a faction ID. When it gets assigned, we do the faction ID. It'd be easy to get. It would be quite easy to get because we actually generate the factions down here, and we could just go grab it straight from the child. We could say the child would match whatever the fucking faction ID. We can do that, and that's probably what we will do. But the problem is then we wouldn't need this crap, I guess. But the problem is that then we have this. This is an array. This isn't a Godot array, though. Maybe that's what Win was talking about earlier. This thing I don't actually think we're using. Let's just comment this out and see what happens. Um, we'll comment this out too. Maybe this should be. Well, wait. Um, I thought. For some reason I thought I couldn't export C# arrays, but I am. I think so? God damn it! My memory is so bad. Once again, I wish I had. There was nanotechnology to just repair your brain. Uh, I think yesterday another part of the issue, once we got past this, was that it would say that there was nothing in here. So maybe this should be a Godot array. But I have been using them. So if we go to our research, maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe this is a thing that I should just keep going, and then when it actually causes a problem, then I can throw like a hissy fit or something. I'd be like, oh, what's going on? Yeah, see, I'm using it right here. And we know it works too because the thing is right here. Those are the things, and I dragged and dropped those things in there. Uh, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, even right now, it says it's null. Why did I need this faction data? What was even the point of this faction data? This isn't doing anything. We can delete this. I'm gonna leave it there for a couple more minutes. Um, Now I can't remember what the original issue was. It was. Oh, did I not open jump my project this morning? That's pretty crazy. I didn't. I was so sure of what we would be doing here. Um, okay, so this was the problem. uh, so it's both of those is the problem where we're gonna run into. So let's do this. Yeah, let's just like go as if we're working on it. When we hit the faction being null, we'll who knows why the fuck it's null. It shouldn't be null. From what I can, maybe there's some minor bug that I not obviously not minor. Maybe there is some minor typo or something that is not. I'm already here. Um, that's like clearing it or something. But we'll just go forward, and then when we hit that next bug, which will be the faction data is null, we'll change it to a faction ID, and we'll like return. We'll write a little method in here or something that says like return faction data or something, and it will pull that faction data from the thing. Maybe we can put it somewhere that like we'll put it in faction data, a little method. But let's get to that problem first. But this is a perfect time. God damn, man. Yesterday, I had such good luck with my music. Today, not so good. I do really need to play music when I'm doing this, though. Oh shit. Um, I didn't see that there was posts on YouTube. Sorry. I didn't do my test either. Um, I'm gonna do my test. I don't know how long ago this was. Oh, no, there, yeah, it didn't come. Oh, it did come through. No, it didn't come through. Every time I don't do my test, my YouTube test, someone posts, and every time I do my YouTube test, nobody posts anything. Sorry, Elite Gaming. I didn't see it, but I'm gonna take a quick break, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me throw up my my break timer. Um, all right. Um, they're supposed to pop up on OBS. with this program that I'm using. It's called Social Stream, and I actually saw somebody else using it, and but it does this thing. There's these little, yeah. So that's popping up. Thank you. It does this little thing where the when the stream starts, I gotta click these buttons. They don't have any button feedback where, you know what I mean, like that you've clicked them. So I usually click them a bunch of times. But YouTube takes like I was gonna say a minute, but it's not a minute. It's 15 seconds behind everything before the chat actually kicks in. So I try to like keep clicking it while I'm talking, but sometimes I don't click it enough, and that's what happened was, and now I feel bad because I don't get that many YouTube comments, and someone took the time to write something and I didn't reply. So you gotta keep clicking this, but it's like you can't click it too much. You know, I should just keep throughout the day. I should click it. Um, but they don't go like when you guys comment on Twitch, it doesn't write it on the YouTube one. It'd be kind of it'd be kind of nice if it did so that people on YouTube could see besides on the screen. But that's why I have this on the screen. You know, this little thing is so that people can see the other and also, you know, when I was when I on my other channel when I a long time ago I used to people used to always say, "Why don't you have your chat on the screen so that they could see what I was replying to?" Because it's an export from Twitch. All right, so what are we doing here? We're just gonna go forward, and then we're gonna deal with the repercussions as we get them. So what the problem was is we wanted to when it is done, we wrote that complete thing. So it should automatically be firing that stuff. So how we can test this? Do we have bugs sitting in here? No, it think. Oh well, we have those 5 at the beginning. Um, yeah, it's a bummer. I try to always reply to comments that are legitimate, but oh no, look, we got 10 that time. Oh no, they're just adding on. Um, yeah. Like in radio, like when you get a phone call, a light starts flashing, so you gotta answer the phone. Uh, okay, so let's pretend we're gonna finish a research. So let's go to a research that's not done. It looks like I have 2 of them check marked to be done at start. Yeah, so that's right. Um, yeah, there's this other issue. I think it's a Godot issue. Um, oh, so I was talking with Joker about like so on yours before, was there not another one of these when you ran your NGD script before? Oh, I swear that there's always been another one, but it used to appear right next to it. Now it appears to the far right of everything. Um, so we're gonna assign somebody. We did that basic storage. We're gonna turn on the time, and we're gonna wait to see what happens when this completes. Um, sometime at some point it will complete. There we go. And so we have a bug here. And it's getting a null. This is where it breaks. Okay, so this isn't gonna work. So let's write. Oh, I didn't start my music. I was like, man, it's so quiet um, that you guys can't hear. But yeah, I gotta get some type of music. So this faction data is not assigned up here in this, even though it should have been. So let's go into faction data and write a method. No, that's not going to work because we don't have it. Well, we could. We just make a static one. Static. We're going to return faction data, and it's going to get faction data from ID, and we'll pass in an int, and I guess that will be fine. Sure, that'll be fine. And so not in this thing. I probably in here already have somewhere. Let's look for faction in here. This probably would be called faction parent or something. Okay, and I would be wrong. How about parent? County's parent? Maybe I don't have one. I wonder how I'm creating that. It would be under faction generation. Maybe I have it in faction generation, which I don't want it there. Oh, I just called it factions. Why did I do that? We're going to cut this, and we're going to put it here, and we're going to rename it. I should have renamed it before. Factions parent. Is it really a node? It is just a node. Yeah, it doesn't need to be anything else. We can get rid of this. Where's my bugs? No, I know that. Factions doesn't create faction node. This is going to be globals instance dot factions parent. And I guess I made it private. We want it public. There we go. Is that so? Do you like it that it makes it its own little thing, or is it doesn't matter? It is weird that it's a little bit smaller. I never noticed that before until you mentioned it. Um, so then we're going to get faction. What are these things? What are these things when they run? I haven't looked at them in a long time. They're going to be, what is in here? It's just like a node. Doesn't have a script attached or anything. No, it must have a script attached. Let's look at what this is. Faction node. It just has a script that is called faction. Huh. Oh, you mean when you close Godot, it stays there? Mine doesn't do that. Um, this thing is just called faction, huh? Then that's this thing? Okay. I probably should call it faction node, but we'll leave it there. Oh, I see what I did here. I'm making these consistent. Okay. All right. Who gives a shit? Then faction is fine. So what we'll do is we'll go back to this thing. Nope. Not to this thing. We're gonna go to this thing, and we're gonna go faction. Faction equals faction get child. We need globals instance parent factions parent get child ID, and then we're going to return faction data. Ah, makes sense. Maybe I need to make the chat stick around longer on the screen too. I think it defaults to 20 seconds and I made it 30 seconds, which seemed like a long time, but all right, so I think this should return our faction data. So what we're going to do then, back to the research item, what is this thing going on here? We're gonna have to make sure that this is getting assigned the right shit. We're gonna need, this is no longer gonna be this is gonna be an int, and we're gonna say faction ID, and then we're gonna go to here, and we're gonna go faction data dot get faction from ID, county improvements, complete research, faction ID. We're gonna go faction data, faction data equals that. And then what is this thing? This thing we're gonna comment out. We're probably gonna get rid of this. But right now we don't have any need for it. And then here we're gonna go faction ID equals faction ID. And then this is gonna say so how are we, what are we doing this with this? We're adding the starting research. We have the faction data. We're gonna set this research ID. This is an int now. Hopefully we're setting this correctly. I have it well. Are we? Faction ID equals I. If we look at our remote here, 4. Sorry, 3 is gonna be the shipbirds. Let's hope. Oh, because it's alphabetical. Okay, that's fine. I was like, why is the shipbirds at the bottom? I was thinking, whatever. The map, it's not the fourth one, but we don't give a shit. So what we could do here for this test, I wonder, can I just put faction data dot, I don't think this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. Get faction from ID, research item data faction ID. Oh my god, you can do that. Alphabetical. I've been playing a lot of Victoria 3, and man, you make a lot of bananas in Victoria 3. It makes me laugh. How many bananas you make. Okay, so then this thing down here, we'll put this same thing. This thing. And we'll go put this right here. Oh wait, no. Other way. This right here. Research items does not define. This needs to go. Oh, sorry. So I don't know why I keep apologizing. This needs to go like this. The computer loves making bananas and making banana factories in Victoria 3. I'm down to the last 2 years in a Paradox game. I've almost finished a Paradox game. I've never done that in my life. I'm in 1934. It ends in 1936. It runs so slow. So what are we doing here? We need to have a faction data that is returned from this research thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go get from here. Yeah, we're gonna go research item 0. This should be an S though. What is my problem here? Faction data, research item with an S. Research items. All right, there we go. Grave, how's it going? Can you hack NASA? No. What did you get from NASA? Like alien proof of aliens or something? Like what secret information? Um, I would assume if there were aliens that they would have like it on an air gapped computer, you know, like I feel like that would be the case, but I don't know. All right, we'll see if this works. We have our account. We're missing something else though. We'll build this. We'll get our heirs, and then we'll. Um, is it done? Then we'll run it. And then we get some other error. Um, get faction, oh, I never put this over here. Um, where am I going? I need to put over here in globals. We need to add in wherever this thing is. Faction variables. Wait, faction variables? I thought it was called faction shit. There it is. Um, we need to put this in there. Hey, Lord Mac, how's it going? Invalid cast. Did I hit restart? I guess I didn't. You know, I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and I was thinking about that because I always say like, "Oh, I'm a noob." I think I can't use that excuse anymore. I'm a slow learner. I don't know. What is this thing now? Get child faction data 59. Um, it still doesn't like this. Get child ID. Let's do this. GD print faction ID that is trying to be used. Sure, whatever. I started on Unity with C Sharp and then switched over, and that actually was more difficult than I thought it would be. Probably because of my lack of skills to begin with. The C Sharp stuff, you know, that didn't change from Unity. But the other, you know, everything else. Um, hmm. I was hoping to get. This is a new. We got a new error. Let's see what this thing. So this is now at line 60. But if it's at 60, it should have put faction ID that is trying to be used is 0. It's possible. Let's go to our faction generation. It's possible these things haven't been generated yet. That is the case. We're creating the node after this. I wonder if I just move this down one. You don't feel welcome, and I barely felt welcome in Unity when I started. I had many times I wanted to post questions on the Unity forum, and I would find someone with a similar question, and the people were so hostile to that person, the poor person just asking a question, be like, "This has already been answered. Fuck you." And I'd be like, "What? Just help the poor guy." you know. I don't know. I don't remember looking that much on the Unity Reddit subreddit. Um, so I don't know if it was like that on the subreddit, but it was definitely. I have a feeling this is going to cause some other issue, but let's see. It can't get the parent. It can't get from the parent if the fucking thing hasn't been created yet. So that's what we got. That same bug. But that time it worked. Let's look here. The faction data is not null. Faction ID that is trying to be used is 0. I wonder where this is. I bet you that's my test. No, they would all be, so because this other one says 3. 0, 3, 0, 3, 0, 3, 0, 3, 0, 2. Why is 0 being used so much? But it's not all the time. What is the second? What the fuck am I doing here? Because it should go through all of them. Look at this thing. It's going to town. I hard coded in that one. No, I didn't. I use GPT all the time to ask it questions, and some stuff it is very helpful with, and other things it has no clue. Uh, uh, it's kind of interesting. So with Godot, so back to like Unity versus Godot, I think Godot's better, and I think the community's better. Um, by far the community is better, but it's smaller. And so with ChatGPT, ChatGPT has to ingest all of those comments, and it tries to ingest, and the more information that it has, the better it operates. So there's more information for it to ingest from Unity than there is Godot. But it's gotten significantly better with Godot. It still gets very confused because it often will say something. So there's an older version of Godot called or 3.3 or something, and we're on 4.3, and it will often be like, "Oh, this is how you do it," and it's like, "No, this is the 3.0 version or whatever." But sometimes even that recently happened, and it gave me the idea though of how to fix what my issue was, if that makes sense. Like I was like, "Oh wait, I could use this other thing," and then I looked into that. Um, but yeah. No, I'm curious. I'm curious why you don't feel welcome in the Unity thing. I want to hear some shit talking about Unity. Um, all right, what are we doing here? Um, so this test, I don't feel like this test is very good. This is where it breaks. Yeah, it's returning the faction though. It's returning the correct faction. And I'm gonna put a note in here. This has to be at the top. I like to put notes now in this because otherwise I'm gonna go rearrange. of this list of methods. And I'll rearrange and get some other issue. I still don't know why 0 is being accessed. Faction ID that was trying to be used. This is one of those things too, though, where I've put so many goddamn comments in the in the thing that it now they're no longer worthwhile. I put in so many comments that now they're just like bloat in my own code. So we'll probably get rid of some of those. Grave Eater, are you thinking about starting, or do you already make video games? Um, all right. So let's go through, because I think this is, well, let's run the test. Let's add somebody to research and see what happens. Tina Moore, you're our researcher for the day. And then we just hang out here. I'm still not done with my coffee. Oh, this isn't going to be very useful unless I can see the bug thing. Oh, she got 14 that time. She got her bonus. All right, basic storage is completed, and we did not get a bug. So, what were we doing? Why were we working on this at all? So we wanted to, yeah, so this is still busted. But that's a different thing. That's where we were going to get to this when the problem started. All right, so this is working though, I think. But what we need to do now is fix. So what was happening is when something, it's not getting added to this list isn't working right. So when we open this up, it should have a list of all of the buildings that we can make. And so and that should happen at the beginning, regardless of anything we've researched. And currently it's blank. So that, because there's something going wrong somewhere. And it could be because of our research, those things that we were trying to copy could be null. So let's go back to this county improvements page and see what the problem is here. County improvement control. Generate county improvement buttons. This is going to be the one. So it's going through all county improvements. And so do we know oh yeah, the networking stuff was crazy. I actually messed with the networking stuff a little bit just to like kind of get myself familiar with the multiplayer things, and it would be changing but not necessarily better. All the tutorials are busted. Um, yeah, yeah, it was weird how they um, uh, it's weird how they did that. You don't code. That's totally acceptable. I uh, don't know why I started sometimes. I actually know why I started. I was thinking about it the other day. I used to make D&D maps, and then I was like, why am I taking all this time? Because it takes a long time to make D&D maps. I was like, why not just make a game instead? Um, all right, so let's see in here. I think what we're going to need, this is the problem, is this. I don't think this is getting added. I barely know what I'm doing too. I'm trying to make a 4X game that takes place in North America. Um, this is just Oregon right now, and then one county, like a paradox game. That's my attempt. Or this is what I'm working on, and at this point, like I said, it's been like 2 years. I've been learning as I go, and it turns out I have a lot to learn, which reminds me, I meant to start doing this ever since I learned this yesterday from someone in chat. Wind in chat said you could just hit it. You don't need this extra thing that I was doing. So I'm going to try to fix that. What I think we should do here is we should do a count of this, because I think this is going to be 0. Count of county improvements, and we'll do that. We'll make this one rainbow actually. And did I not put a $sign at that other one? And we'll see here. I think that's probably, and we can test that easy. Oh yeah. Yeah, Unity also takes up a huge amount of space. I still have an old copy that takes up 20 gigs on my fucking C drive, and I can't get rid of it for some reason. Okay. Did I not put count at the end of this thing? I did not. That is a problem. We're gonna go here. Do this again. Something was there though. Oh, we got 10 of these now. How nice. And then they went away. County improvements. Yes. So the problem we're at now is when we complete this, it's not working. When we complete our research, research ID, or research thing, complete research. This is where it breaks. Add county improvement to all county improvements. So this is where it breaks, is where we were getting that number that I said seemed fishy, because we're seeing, no, this is not where we're doing that. This is where it breaks, the shit birds. Let's filter. So it does it 4 times, 4 times, 4 times, 4 times. Is that right? For each county improvements, there's 3. Well, let's double check. Let's make this simpler too. Let's try to like keep it as, so production has 3, and we'll turn this off. So we'll just get 1. It should just be 1. Oh wait, now nothing. Okay, it just research is, we're just gonna get 1. Let's build this. You know, I read on one of the Godot things, they were talking about having the this not pop out, and trying to make it so that you could do updates in real time. Like it would change, and I guess it's just not worth the overhead or something. There's some sort of side issues. So this is right though. And I do remember back in the good old days, like, so I did do some programming 30 years ago, and I think it was called Code Warrior, and like I think even like Hello World took 5 minutes to compile. You would just type that in, and then you'd get it to run, and then you'd go do something else for a while and come back. I think it was called Code Warrior, and I remember at the time that was like the best compiler you could ever get. So this is adding it in. So where is this? So at this point, well, we can look in here as well. Research office has been added. So at this point, this shouldn't actually be here. And in fact, it shouldn't be here at all. That's a lie. That's not where it's been added. In here, it should. Okay, so this is part of. Oh, good fuck. This is another duplicate thing. We're supposed to be duplicating this and add this in here. What is this supposed it says has been added. It's a rainbow one. This may be what I was just looking at. So this should happen to every county. 1, 2, 3, 4. County name, county improvement, and then it sorts the list. It actually never gets to that. So I'm going to leave this other, I cut that other comments out. It never does anything. It never gets, this doesn't work. Um, for county data in counties faction owns. Where is this? This is in faction data. Oh, wait. Wait. Are we passing in? Oh no, we're doing it from here. Uh, on how you are streaming it on YouTube and Twitch and also getting chat from both. Well, thank you. Uh, I half-assed it. I was saying it doesn't always work either. I was saying earlier I was using this thing called Social Stream. Um, and some other plugin for OBS, which I actually should probably check to see if there's an update to. I haven't looked in a long time. I can't remember. I think it was kind of a pain. Um, and I want to do it. I have another channel where I stream video games, and I actually keep telling myself that I'm going to stream to both. It does use double the bandwidth though. So like if your upload bandwidth, it sends to both things. Because there's like a website it's called like Restream or something like that that will do it. Uh, but it puts like a uh, watermark on your videos, like it says in the upper right corner somewhere. Like this was Restream by Restream, and I thought that was bad. I didn't want to do it. I was like, I think it like one doesn't have it and the other one does. I think I used it once or twice too, and it also is like a limit to this stuff. Yeah, I think. Or do you use it now? Um, okay, so let's look at this. So this works, and I thought for a second I was running the wrong faction data, but we have the right faction data. This thing says the correct faction data. We pass in this county improvement. This is where it breaks. Let's add in this county improvements name just to make sure that um, we are doing something. Man, you mentioned demos, and I am so stoked when games have demos. What game was that? There was a game I was playing recently that I bought, and I was like, this game should have had a demo because I probably wouldn't have bought it. I forget what it was. Um, all right, so we pass in this thing, and this should be with this passed in. We should have maybe the county's faction to own isn't working. Let's GD print county's faction owns. County's factions own. We want to count this. Count. And then we'll go to here. I remember it was just a little weird. Like I said, I don't think I used it a couple of times. um, I should go through again and get rid of all these other things, these other uh, console things again. What are we doing here? We just have to go to here. Oh. Count of county improvements is 0. I didn't put a rainbow on the other one, so who knows where the fuck that thing is. Count 0. So this is a problem. Maybe this was one of our problems from the beginning. This county's faction owns is used all over the place. But maybe it's not, it happens after. Maybe this thing, maybe we do it later. Create faction node. The fuck is this thing? Okay, so this just makes that, this puts the faction data with the faction. This creates the node and it adds it there. That's fine. We're naming stuff. That all looks fine. So after we create that, we add the research, which we just did. This should have nothing to do with that list of I guess the easiest way to find this actually is go to faction data and search for this thing. Count all county faction resources. So we know it's working later because we use this all the time and it works later. County is faction, but it doesn't work at this point. Assign county data to factions. Okay, so this one I really liked this code. I remember this, and I was like, I really like this code. All right, maybe it's not that exciting. So this is under county generation, and county generation hasn't happened yet. So that's the problem. I really like this code until it doesn't work. So basically, it goes to the county, and it looks what faction it's in, and then it adds itself to that faction. But then in faction generation, this add starting research, which we just did. We just did this whole. We got rid of that whole thing yesterday because we didn't need it. That's in quotes because we did need it. So this is happening. When this fires, it completes the research, which adds so it runs that getter setter that's in research item data that adds it to all the faction stuff. But the faction at this point doesn't know what counties it owns because they haven't been generated yet. So that's a problem. Assign faction data to county data. Assign county data to faction. This goes through every county and adds itself to the faction data that is already assigned. I'm surprised I didn't say something about how much I like it. And I love this code. Yeah, so if we uncomment this, I bet you it happens after our other stuff. I mean, I know it does, but let's double check my work because that's always a good idea. And we'll get rid of this thing here. Faction 8, what does this comment say? Faction, yeah, it's this right here. Faction 1, AI Faction 1 gets Cowlitz, Tillamook. I guess, well, I wonder why I didn't name them AI Faction 0 or whatever to match. That's kind of confusing. So yeah, this happens after. And this is the code. I thought I deleted this, but I actually still hear. Um, I guess we can just put this back in. Um, Trying to think if there's a better way to, if we could put this earlier. We can't. No, I want it to go in order from like size, basically factions, counties, people. So we're just gonna have to do this twice. Have you I have not. We haven't gotten to that part yet. Um, and I think this might be a problem too. And it's gonna be kind of, no, I don't think it should be that. No, it's gonna be kind of a pain to figure it out. We're gonna have to. So they all start out the same. What we'll have to do is every day we'll have it print out like how much, to the console. We'll have to have it print out how much research is done per faction, because we won't be able to tell, because our faction, our research is going to look the same no matter where we're clicked, so the other factions we're going to have to do. Um, but we're no longer duplicating that one thing. This is we're just using the faction ID, so um, it's going to run that complete code. This code and research or in this, um, no, wrong one. In this thing, it's going to run this. Hmm. We actually could do this. So this doesn't really matter. It's going to complete the It's going to complete the research. Um, I'm just going to put a note in here. This is going to complete the research when faction generation happens, but it actually doesn't do anything until after county generation happens. We could probably have it not run until after the game starts. So I don't think it's going to matter right now, but when we have 500 fucking counties and it's got to go, or in 500 factions, it's going to have to go through all this. And I feel like this is just going to be additional slowdown when you start the game. And one of my goals is when I turn on Victoria 3, it takes like 20 minutes for the fucking game to start. All right, it's not 20 minutes, it's 10 minutes. um, for the game to start, and I don't want my game to be like that. If you're trying to like load, um, I don't want that. That's like one of my main goals. Uh, Especially as, man, Victoria 3 now takes forever to start. It starts and then I load and then I go have a smoke and I come back and it's finally loaded. Uh, all right, so we'll want to cut that. We'll want this not to happen at the beginning, but I don't think it matters right now, and I'll kind of try to keep on task here. So let's see. we need to go back to county generation, and we need this thing to run. It's going to go, this is working, I think. I guess we could just comment out all the, or put these back. For each county, this is not. I don't quite understand the serialized and unserialized data thing. I remember I had an issue. I forget what it was. I think I was working on save games or something. This is back to Unity. Um, and I had to I was making it save as a JSON or something, and I read a bunch about serialization and not serialization, and it's like there's so many gaps in my knowledge, and what I have to do is what for me to learn about it is I have to run into an issue where I have to continually try to fix that issue until it clicks, if that makes sense. Like I have to have a serialization issue where I can't why is this broken, and then I have to research and then continue to, and then I'll know 25% of it or something. Um, asynchronously, I still don't. I use that sometimes, and that also, someone in chat one day was like, it was for my Hex Demon game. They were like, "You're doing that wrong. It works, but you're doing that wrong." And they told me how to do it right, but it would just bug out, and so I just put it back to my wrong way because I had it going. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I haven't looked at that game in a while. I should though. So this is going to go through all of the research items. If it's done, which that complete thing is going to mark it done, and its county improvements length is, let's put a summary in here. This has to exist because when the research is marked complete in faction generation, the counties don't exist. Okay. Then it goes through each one of these in here, and then it adds the improvement. And I think this duplicate thing might act strange too, but all right, so this is back in place. Let's restart this, fingers crossed. I'm gonna take a break in a second. There's that stupid bug, but it doesn't matter, right? We'll open this up. Okay, so this worked. This was what it was supposed to be. We only have one thing checked. So that's now we need to complete a research. Bruce Davis. So speaking of ChatGPT, I used ChatGPT to just give me a list of names in North America. I said, list of names in North America, and most common names in North America. And I actually saw somebody a Reddit post where they were talking about some company did that, and they were getting on this guy's shit about it. Why didn't he look it up himself? And I thought it was weird. Is that a no-no? I figured with ChatGPT that would be a good use of its why look through all that crap yourself? Whoops, this is not what we want. Okay, so this isn't working. Still. It should have kicked in. What did we research here? We should have had a warehouse added. And so this is the thing we started working on yesterday morning. This was the start with this problem. Well, it wasn't really. It says converted warehouse has been added. Count of county improvements is 1. So this is wrong. Count of county improvements. count of county improvements. Generate count. All right, so this should have been 2 at this point. Let's double check that this thing is listed under storage. Yeah, there should be a warehouse that was added. And so let's go back to our complete thing. We probably have enough things in the console here to figure out what's going on. So this thing, when the research is complete, let's go back here. It says basic storage has been complete. Uh, has been complete. I'm going to take a break here in a second. Check to only print the event log if it's the player's improvement. The fuck is this? Check if county improvements are done. Wait, what? Check if county improvements are done. There must be another one of these. That's the. um, this. I'm going to take a quick break. Um, it's funny that I was talking with a friend. What the fuck program language is he talking about? JavaScript or something? He's like a full stack developer, and we were just fucking around with something, and he was talking about how he hated the asynchronous loading. Like, it was just killing him. I think it was JavaScript, and he was just like trying to fix something real quick. Um, and it's funny that there's like 2 different schools. No, I don't know about schools of thought, but some people really like the asynchronous stuff, and I'm just too much of a noob still. Though I said I wasn't gonna use that as an excuse anymore. But anyways, I'm gonna take a quick break, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. I gotta stop my music that you guys can't hear. Okay. I think you know what I should do here, besides turn those off. Um, the asynchronous, yeah, has completed research. Let's put research in here. Let's spell it right though. Um, so let's see. This isn't representative though of if it's actually done being researched. So we probably don't want this here. Um, so what is this thing doing? So I know I have another check. Yeah, so it at the end of research, it increases the researcher research, which always makes me laugh. Uh, amount of research done plus this thing. So it should automatically fire if this is over. Maybe this thing is wrong. Maybe I have another spot. That's adding yeah, I think this is just not a good spot for where that thing pops out. Um, we could do this. Um, inside here, we could follow this fucking chain of doom. We could put this here. Um, I'm starting to love these question mark things. Except we don't know the research data here. All right, let's cut this. Um, yeah, Bumblebite, totally. Uh, there's all sorts of things like that in the world, like people resisting change and stuff. I feel like we've talked about this. That like I'm a huge like it's things change in IT. You just got to accept and move on. But occasionally I'll just be like, oh, I'm gonna just keep doing it this way. Um, so let's put this in here in this complete research, even though this is kind of not. Um, and then we would just put this research name in here. Um, this isn't going to work until after the game starts because this doesn't exist at the beginning. So hopefully we won't get blasted with a bunch of those at the beginning, but we'll see. And I think this will be a better indicator of when the research is done. Um, and then we can track down this issue. I think I can fix this issue in the next hour. I think that's my goal. I'm almost out of coffee, which is a bummer. All right, we didn't get blasted with errors or event logs. So let's assign somebody to this thing again. I should turn down the well, I did it again. See, if I'm doing it, then that's going to be a problem. Let's put that in top bar. Um, make the research panel cover the top bar, or you kind of want to be able to see the amount of resources though, or make the buttons disabled or something. The time buttons. Oh my God, go a little slower. Um, completely unrelated to what we're working on here. Did I assign somebody? I did. He's right there. Adam Bailey. And we'll turn down the amount of research it costs because this takes a while. So we don't have to wait 4 days or whatever. Yeah, this takes 8 days. Okay, so it says it's been completed, and at this point it should have added it, but it didn't add it. So we got to just go find why this is a problem. Um, yeah, it still has one. Let's fix this. Was it storage? Cost of research, we'll say 20. Make it a little faster. Somebody's starving. Poor guy. This is where it breaks. Faction 1. Counties factions owns 1. Did it say who that was? Um, faction ID that is trying to be used is 0. Trying. Okay, so it's doing a bunch of different ones. Um, Khaled's converted warehouse has been added. Converted. Oh, you know what? I don't think the duplicate is working. Because everyone's getting Cowlitz isn't ours. Cowlitz is this guy. I think. Yeah, that's Cowlitz. I don't think the duplicate's working. Or the other problem is it's saying faction is trying to use a 0. That it's trying to use a 0. So the problem could be that it's trying to, and he only does own one county. 0. Uh, yeah, this is where it breaks. I think so we got a problem either with, did I hard code in something dumb? Um, that's what I was doing. That's what this is supposed to do. We're gonna put that back probably. It's gonna suck. And it's not, I think it's almost all of my custom resources. I should have just done public classes. The thing with resources is I can go into the inspector and just change them without a public class. So like with my county population, I have all these things where there's like in the code, um, I gotta put in their actual, if I wanted to edit the county population generation, I have to go into the actual code, which I guess isn't that big of a deal. Um, but I think we have a different issue here. Like there's something going on. Because where there was that thing, I feel like this wasn't working right. Because there was we have so many things. I put the constructor in there, but then I would have to construct that one part, and I don't know what I'm doing on that part. The way it was saying new equal new, I'd have to build the whole constructor. I'd have to fill in the constructor there. Um, and I don't know if that might be where I have to go, and I just have to just fuck it. Um, it's one of those things where sometimes you got to do it the hard way because it works out better. What is this number? Um, Okay. See, this is faction ID that is trying to be used as 0. And I think what's happening, this 0 shouldn't be here. I think everything is getting assigned to 0. So when we open this up, like our research is actually getting added to 0. Like we finish this, and 0 being this first faction, this faction right here. So they're getting the benefits of our research. Um, and so if that's the case, I don't know if it's not duplicating or not. So let's. I have too many things going, too many comments is what's going on as part of the problem. So this one is just says the faction name and the research name, and when we add starting, what about early out air on 0? What do you mean? Um, so this one is faction 1, basic storage, basic storage. Faction 2. Wonder why, see, I wonder why this is 0. Is this because of my comment? I think this is because of my comment down here. Let's comment out some of this shit, because now it's just a pain in my ass. Now it's just test of research item data. For each research item in this, we assign the faction data. And this runs 3 times, or whatever. Each time as we load these things, we we run this. For each one of these, we assign the faction ID. We're passing in this faction. Um, these all say faction ID or 0, so that would be a problem. Is this for real? It's supposed to be right. We're pulling this shit from disk. Faction 2. Faction. But then where was it getting those other things? Because it was saying 1. Faction ID that it's trying to be used. I wonder if I'm assigning this faction ID. Oh, I am. I'm assigning it right here. I wonder why I'm signing that right there. But it's I. Files in faction resources. Files. All right, that's right. Man, I wonder if this duplicate isn't working. No, it has to be because we're getting other stuff. We probably could get rid of this. We already have the faction node children. Are we using this? I guess it wouldn't tell us. We would have to go to the instance here. What was the thing called? Faction datas? I have a feeling we are using this though. More than a little bit. All right, let's go back, put this thing back, and let's put a note though. I don't want to have two separate things. I don't want to have a Godot array. This is weird. It's a Godot array. I don't want to have two separate. Did I save this? Yeah. Uh, lists of stuff. So let's go back to our notes here. I don't know if I have a faction AI. I don't think, or a faction. Oh, I do. I have factions. Um, get rid of the factions, faction data's array in globals, and just use the uh, faction node, factions parent get child. So that's kind of an issue too. I don't want to do it right now, but we definitely need to get rid of that. Um, so we add this thing to here, which should have no effect though on what we're doing down here. Faction ID, faction name, has been loaded. All right, that's all there. And then we create the faction node, which we just did. And then we go to the add the research where we're using this faction ID, which should have been, let's do another print here. Faction ID that is getting assigned. Because there's too many, whatchamacallits, things in there that are 0. There should be one group of 0, but it shouldn't be so many zeros. What did I just call that thing? Faction ID. That is getting. So that's right. So these are because we have 3 research and it's assigning the ID to the research. So it should be 3 times, and that's right. Um, so now we might be back to the problem of this isn't a duplicate. So how would we test that? Let me think about this. There's a way. So let's say this isn't a duplicate. When we edited one, this would be, though, they should all be 3 then, because it's going to be the last one. And I don't think that that's what's happening. Let's put this back. So we add this, so we get this thing, and it's supposed to be duplicating this. And it may be, I don't know. Let's make sure that okay, this is copy. We're adding the right shit, because that could be an easy mistake was if I didn't have this here. So we're adding the right thing to there. If this faction ID, or this faction data, which is this, Yeah, this is the one we need to be I'm just double checking we're checking the right shit. If the count's greater than 0, it puts in that number what I asked what was that number. Faction uh, data research items count. I said, what was that number? What is this number that's just plopping out here? So that would have been just a number that was in here, which I actually don't. Oh, because I had it commented out. If this is null, which this isn't actually a good test anymore because that part we know is working. So we'll get rid of that. What we need to do is we can test here. Test of research item faction ID. This will tell us the count. This is after we've duplicated it, right? Yeah, so this is going to be after we've duplicated it. So this should show the same thing, you know, like 3, well, not 3, just one of each thing. And then we'll see if the duplication worked, because otherwise it's going to be setting them all back to the same thing. Because as you change it, you know, the duplication doesn't work. It could be related to this bug, too, at the top. Go to the very top here. This thing that I just started. It said test. Test of faction. Let's just put in test in here. Okay, so this is the problem. It's resetting these to 0, so I think we're back to the duplication problem. So if this isn't duplicating it, though, I feel like the last one should be the one that it's getting. Faction data, faction data, faction data. We're passing in the faction data. The faction data is being read from disk. And we know that that's right. The count. What is the, well, yeah, they're all being set to 0. So each faction data, as this runs, the faction ID, so I guess it's got to be the duplicate thing. Again. What happens if we get rid of duplicate and see what it does? I'm just curious. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. That's how it's supposed to work. Okay, except so except if we're not duplicating it, it could be, you know, we add this in here. This faction ID would be up. I mean, this is how it should look here. But it could be that we're just assigning the fuck you duplicate. That's how I feel. I know that this is wrong. So basically, we're assigning it the new one, and it's not duplicating it. So it's just assigning. It's changing every single one. What we could do um, is in here to make sure for each uh, globals instance faction. Well, no, factions parent get child. We need to. I'm doing this backwards. Um, for each faction data in we actually got to do this different. We got to do faction get children. Then we go faction. This needs to be a capital F. Faction data, whatever. Faction data 1 equals faction data. And then we go, actually, we don't even need this. We'll just do this. For each research item data in research items. What the fuck am I doing here? It's so mad because I have this thing here. No, we can't use this name. We'll just say research item. GD prints research item data faction ID plus research item faction ID. We're missing a thing here. So it shouldn't, well, it's going to do this a bunch of times. So let's put this right here. And we don't need all this other garbage probably. So at the end, after it's done, it's going to put out what every research item's faction ID, and I bet you they're all going to be the same. We don't have duplicate in here right now, but this will be a test for that. I think they're all going to be the same. What did I call this? What did I... research item data is what we got to look for. Okay, and they're all 3. Which is what I originally thought, but I don't know why we're getting zeros. So they're all the same. It's not duplicating them. So we we know that's a problem, but we knew that we were gonna run into this. So that and so whoops, we're gonna put duplicate. What the fuck? Duplicate. Duplicate back in here. Then we're gonna see what happens when we run that. And in a perfect world, which I don't think this is going to work, they should all be, 3 zeros, 3 ones, whatever. And now they're all 0. So it's duplicating it. I don't know why they're getting all zeros, but it's not duplicating it. And so let's put this true in here. And then this is, I should have done this earlier. But I think moving forward was a good idea, just so we can get back to where we know that this is like really a major issue. Yeah, that duplicate doesn't do shit. So we have this thing commented out in here. Nope. Let's close that thing so I stop clicking on it. In here, we'll put this back. This is a faction ID. And this is going to be faction ID. And then we're going to go back to our faction generation. And we're going to, instead of duplicate, we're going to put in Oh, I actually have it commented out right here, I think. We're going to cut this. We're going to put this here. And then we're going to comment out that. So this should make a new copy of this. Who knows if that even works, because I think I had to have a two-step process to have this happen. Why 0 though? Well, then it implodes. So that's a different issue. So now it's imploding on this different spot. Line 55. Let's build this thing first. It's doing it ahead of time. This is the build versus the other thing. So why does this implode it? Oh, because then, so now the new implosion, when we do it this way, is that the county improvement data is not a thing. So when we do our copy, it's not copying the county improvement data that it has with it, which is an array. A normal array, not a Godot array. Um, but let's double check this. Yeah, we'll do county improvement array. Didn't I say like I could fix this in an hour? Son of a bitch. I should have put length there. I could do it. um, maybe we'll change this to a Godot array first. I really wish this wasn't happening, because for all I know, they're related. So now it's croaking on this. This is like null or something. What does this actual error say? Not set to an instance of an object. Let's go back to, maybe I skipped it or something in my copy. County improvement data equals, but maybe I need to make this, I need to initialize this because I wonder if that's going to fuck up our shit over here though. Not here. In here where I dragged and dropped these things. I wonder if like if I went back to the constructor idea, it likes that. Where's our big list of garbage? It was like test or something. Where was that? That was under faction generation. And it was under research item faction ID. Okay, so there it is. And they have the correct things now. What a giant pain in my ass. I don't know if it's still working. I shouldn't, I don't want to count my chickens just yet. Okay, so it's busted. Something's busted here because this should be at 100%. One of these should be, yeah, research items should be at 100% already. So when we go here, this should be at 100 already. But that's a different problem. Just since we're here, we might as well, not to that one, assign somebody, and then we made that smaller. So it should only take, it's 20. Okay, so that worked, except we got 2 converted warehouses, which we can figure that out. I think I know where that is. You know, that was the thing. That this is the original issue. I thought I may have even mentioned it at the beginning of the stream yesterday, where it's like I think we'll get 2 of these, and I wanted to like have it check the list to make sure it was unique or something, but I don't. That we didn't get to that part because of this. So we have another issue then, which is that one research should have been done. Also, I hate that a duplicate doesn't work. Maybe it's not making a copy of it. I mean, maybe it's making a copy, but maybe it's not bringing over. What if we put this? I should probably make this a little method. What if we put this here, and then we say copy, and then we say copy, and we say copy, and then we run this. Because that thing has a checkbox. I'm gonna need like what I should do, and I think speaking of ChatGPT again, I think I asked ChatGPT to write me a thing. So that works there. And this researcher's office is working. So anyways, I asked ChatGPT to like write me a thing where this copying thing that I'm making, because I think this is gonna have to happen for every resource that I have, would just be like a for each copy all of the objects instead of me having to manually do it. But I did see, which I haven't been able to find again, but people talking about this issue and them saying just make a manual copy of every single thing, and people saying like that's ridiculous. But the constructor probably would have done the same thing, except that causes that other issue. But then also like Wynn was saying, like the constructor may make it so that I can see some of these things in, the correct thing in here. For their research item data. This is a county thing, but that issue is for safety. Which issue? The new, you can't new. It's probably I just don't know what I'm doing on that. What is this? Oh, this is where it's adding the thing in. That constructors need all fields. It's not the end of the world, I guess, if I did that way. Man, it's one of those things where I don't have enough knowledge to pick the better solution. Like this will work, but maybe this is a shitty way to do it. So I'm gonna keep going though. I just got to fix this one thing. I know I only, well, I got 15 minutes. I got to fix the duplicate thing. And where that is, I think it's being completed twice. Um, oh, right. That's a good point. That makes sense. So it's telling you ahead of time if you have enough shit or not enough, or there an int isn't or whatever. You know, it's supposed to be an int, and you're putting in a research data or something. Um, and I'm very pro that. All right, so the next thing that we have this problem is adding it twice. Well, let's double check. We only ran it one time. Let's research basic production this time. And I was going for the time thing again that we got to fix. I don't know how much research this takes, but we will find out. So it should add 3 things twice, so 6 things. I guess we have kind of a lot. Oh, did I put 500 on this? We could look. No. I put 500 on this. This is going to take an eternity. All right, let's put it down. Let's put it down to 50. No, that's still 5 days. We'll just put it down to 20 like the other one. Man. And then if I do the constructor way, I'll just have to like be like, hey, from now on, you know, in my brain, uh, be like all of my resources have to have a constructor. Oh, you're already done. That was quick. So under here, we should have 6 extra things because it's busted. And so this is, oh, we got 9 extra things. Yeah, this is still working though. We should have just had 3. Is this adding it every day? Because I let it run for a minute. So it actually says, look at this. Oh no, that's storage. Basic production has been completed. So it actually is putting this in here 3 times. I wonder why. Oh, I know why. Let's see this again. And it's nice and alphabetized, like I wanted. I would run this for like one more day, but I think I know what it is. Okay, so it's adding that 3 times. So I think what's happening in this part where it adds the county improvement, this duplicate might not be working. We'll have to look. And maybe I'll try, you know what? That's what I'll do. This duplicate may not be working. Use a constructor to test. I think for this county improvement data, the duplicate, when I go to fix this, I'll use a constructor and then I'll compare which one I like more. That's what we'll do when this is broken. But we'll see. We got to figure out why this is happening 3 times. I think why is it, so it goes through, we pass in a county improvement, it goes through, it adds it all, and then it sorts it. I don't think this sorting does anything, but let's comment that out just for now. That's some ChatGPT shit. Just to see if this happens 3 times. I don't think it's that, but let's get some complication out of there. Maybe I can do this by in time. We got to finish a research. Marilyn Wilson. Okay, see it's happening 3 times. Something is completing it 3 times. I didn't even check. Yep. Oh, right. The sorting isn't done, so but it's adding it in 3 times. I see 2. Um, I see 2. And that actually 2 is what I expected. Uh, that's strange. But we can search by event. I actually think I know what this is. There's a thing that I had in there like as a backup test to make sure, but then I added in the complete thing where it does the complete differently. I should probably do this with the basic storage because it only produces 1 item, but whatever. Basic production has been completed. What? Then it's gonna maybe it checks the next day or something. Basic production is completed. Okay, so this is so I guess must have got it right in between. It's checking during the day to make sure the shit's completed and then marking it complete, I think. Um, and there was a reason why I had that in there. It was like a double check because otherwise your heroes would be like wasting time researching shit that they didn't need to research. Workday over for population. We actually are only doing hero stuff because we haven't even assigned. Well, okay, that's not true. Um, so the hero research is in a different spot, and it's in a weird spot. I think. I think it's called like hero research. Check for hero research. It's in the banker still for some reason. Um, and this is under faction. So it's going through each node. So each one of these nodes that's over here, it's going through each one of these. And it checks. And I remember this was like, I had a feeling this was going to cause a problem. Um, okay, stop researching if the current research is done. So this is, let's say you have a hero and it goes and he's set to research. If they at first it checks all of your heroes, so it goes down the list and do they have this assigned to them? And if they don't, it just gets the fuck out of here. It's done. Um, I think it needs continue. Uh, continue as go to the next person on the list. And then if it goes this and it checks its current research, and if it's done, it stops the hero from researching. Update activity, remove them from the sign, remove from research. Let's look with this. I'm just making sure there's nothing that says like complete research. Update activity, research, control, assign. Okay, so that doesn't do that. We got to go back to the banker. Where's my banker? Why are you hiding over here, banker? Get over here. Can I click a button? There we go. Okay, so that isn't the problem. It goes through here, increases the researcher research. There's only one researcher. This goes through, it does its checks for its bonus research. If the research amount, or this is the research amount, this is adding the research. It adds it, and so this is where it's going to get marked as done. It didn't used to work that way, but now it does. If the amount of research it has the getter setter, it's going to mark the thing as done. It's going to fire off the whole thing. I had a thought here, but my thought was wrong. I was thinking maybe Donna was still assigned to that research. So this is where it's going to be marked as done. this will trigger the getter setter and mark the research as complete if the amount is higher or equal to the cost. So after it does that, we're going to go check for hero research. We did this thing, and then what is this thing? Then we check if it's done and we run this complete thing. Get the fuck out of here. There it is. That was the problem. I'm pretty sure. I knew there was another one of these in here somewhere because I used to do it that way. And that's one of the things why I wanted to use a getter setter so bad was because I was having to put in these complete things all over the place and it was just so error prone. I don't know if that solved our problem, but we're on the path here. No, let's do production again. And then we'll do a different one. So there, oh wait, we had it happen. Research has been completed. Basic production has been completed. These are different. Okay, we only have one right now. And days have passed now. And we still only have one. Basic production has been completed. This is wrong. Wherever this is the wrong spot. Because what it's talking about, that should be happening. No, it's just wrong. Has been complete. I think it's my event thing though. What the fuck, man? Not in selection. It's this. If research is done, see, I had two things in the same spot. You know what we could do is just delete that shit the fuck out of here. There we go. Stupid fucking not duplicating. It happened to my other games. Actually, it's happened all over the place. I just can't. I should stop using duplicate unless it is the constructor thing, and then if I can use the constructor to fix it, I'll just have to know that. I mean, whatever. It's how you learn, right? It's learning. Okay, we're doing storage this time. Basic storage has been completed. Converted warehouse. It's alphabetical. How about we store our stuff in an abandoned building without a period? I mean, it doesn't. This is not the completed stuff, but I guess I'll make it. I always bitch and moan when I see typos in games that I'm streaming. Grab from the pool. Okay. I think. Well, no. Let's let it run for a couple of days. Is it doing something? Yes. For a second, I'm questioning my own clicking here. We'll sit. Okay, basic production has. Okay, so that was this one, and we completed the research on it without assigning a person. It was the population was doing it, so I didn't mean to test this, but we just did. And then we have researcher's office, lumberjack shack, garden, fisher's shed, converted warehouse. And you know, I didn't test this scroll bar thing ever, I don't think, but it's working. Let's let it run for a couple more days. What happens when there's... Oh, what's that? What's going on? See, there's something else. Oh, it's not adding it on there, though. Basic production has so there's something that's firing this off. Wonder why it's not adding it to the county improvements. That's a different. This is something else. We probably could turn off. It was for learn 6. It was for a different test. That was strange. Let's restart this. But I think we're pretty much ready to go. I think that was you were right, Bumblebite. Uh, I could do it. We're just gonna let this run for a second here, and we're gonna see what because the population does research on its own too. We're just gonna sit here. Basic production has been completed, and it says it twice. So wonder why. We only get one of them, so this thing must be in the wrong spot where it says, and that's actually com completed research. So this is in here. Is there another spot where we have this? Oh, there is. Oh, there is. And then it should have said, um, basic. It should someone's name in here. What does this say? Has finished the research. Has finished. Huh, it didn't say. And this one's set up so that there is going to be a wasted day of people researching when they don't. But who gives a fuck? It's one day. Um, I'm tempted to leave this in here just because we're going to push this code. How close am I to actually getting to the point where I can merge this to main? I keep saying every weekend. We're getting there. I say that every weekend though too. I want to see. It's still doing something. Did I not save this shit? No, I did. How many times do I have this? No. What was this thing saying? Basic production has been completed research, which is a weird way to write that. Has been completed research. So this is the only time we should see this. And it is. It's possible that basic storage, basic production. Yeah, it's possible. I'm wondering why it's not. Oh, it is. It is now. It's adding it every time. Um, so we didn't add any researchers that time. All we did is so what's happening, I think, is people are getting assigned to research by their interest. Um, I'm getting very close, and I feel like all of these different changes are going to be beneficial in the future too, because there's like a ton of different things I've learned in this round, or even since the last whatchamacallit. I can't believe I didn't know that this thing though. Since the last time I pushed to main, we can just do this. I'm gonna do this on all these, just because. Um, you know what? No, I'm not. Like we have some weird shit up here. Get out of here. But I am going to push this code. We're so close. I'm going to put a note for next time. The problem is each day, I'm going to look at it real quick. Maybe it's something simple. A day in, workday over for population. I wonder if we're not turning off their research. Like if this isn't working correctly. Or if it's like a county improvement, it's the resource not copying issue. Oh, we'll fuck with it next weekend. Or maybe I'll fuck with it a little bit offline. Every time I say that, I never do it though. I need to put a note in though. So research is still happening by the population even when a research is completed. It's possible that I never put in there a thing like if there's nothing that matches their interest, they should not research. It's possible I never put that in there. Because I don't no, I probably did put that in there. Whatever. We'll figure it out next time. That's not where I wanted this. And we also, I'm going to leave this in here. We need to make sure, we're going to put a note in here. We need to make sure that the county improvement resource is actually getting duplicated. I'm going to have to just come up with some other, I'm just not use duplicate anymore. Because I really feel like that's like been an issue. It's been every game that I've made, there's been some weird duplication issue, and sometimes I don't notice it till way later. In fact, we had that other duplication issue. It was on this game when the population all of a sudden it just stopped working. So the duplicate used to work with the population, and then all of a sudden one day it stopped working, and all the population had the same skills and stuff. And it was out of the blue. And so then I had to fix that. So I should just stop using duplicate because it's trash. Duplicate is trash. I should open up a ticket, an issue on Godot's GitHub, and just say duplicate is trash. Let's push this. We manually duplicated research item data. Duplicate is trash. Here, since I'm not going to actually do that to the Godot's GitHub, I'll just put it in mine. There we go. All right. Well, thank you guys for dropping by and for the moral support and the code support. And I will see you next time. Have a good rest of the day or night.